How's everybody doing out there? Sorry to get my glasses out of the way. I know it's been a while since I've posted a video, but I wanted to keep up with this. It's actually pretty cool. So today, I'm going to talk about how I made it out of the 9-to-5 rat race, having to deal with a boss and asking for vacation time and sick time and all that stuff, which I no longer have to do. So what I did was, the first thing I did was I managed all my expenses down to the penny. I eliminated anything that wasn't necessary. I did not go out and splurge on food, clothes, anything. I saved as much money as I possibly could. I worked 55, 60 plus hours a week doing that full-time job that I had, and Grubhub and DoorDash, which I'm actually doing right now. And I saved a decent amount of money, enough to put a down payment on an apartment building, which I recommend everybody doing that and moving into it. If you get an FHA loan, if you get a conventional loan, you don't have to move into it, but you'll also have to come up with 20% down plus all the closing costs, which are quite a bit if the house is over $50,000. It just depends on what area you live in. So what I did was, for about 7 months straight, pretty much the whole winter time, the fall and the winter and part of the spring, I saved every single penny that I could possibly save. And I went around every single week and was looking online and looking everywhere for an apartment building, something that was in decent shape, that I didn't have to put a lot of work into, and if it did, it was just a little bit of money that I would have to spend. And so I visited a couple mortgage places, and so I got some good advice from a guy that I know who's been doing rental property for years. And he told me not to go to a bank or a finance company or anything like that. Just find a mortgage company that works with people who have less than perfect credit. If you want to get an FHA loan with the first time home buyers program, you need to have a credit score of 640. And this is like nationwide. It's not just in one state. I mean, yeah, there are stipulations, but the majority is 640 plus credit score. And if you want to buy a house like that, they can only give you $7,500. And $7,500 for closing costs and a down payment, you would be getting a house that's like under $50,000. So if you have your own money, it has to come from a legitimate source. So it has to come from a paycheck, 401k, and you have to have money in reserves. They go back like 2 to 3 years. If you ever filed for bankruptcy, you would have to go and get your bankruptcy papers from a federal court. There is a lot to go through, but I did it, and I got an apartment building. I live in one side, I rent out the other. I saved up enough money to where I could do what I want to do instead of having to go to see a place that I absolutely cannot stand, that I'm not passionate about. That's how I did it. That's how I escaped. So, and there's benefits to having a rental property. There's tax write-offs, plus doing this type of work, it's 1099. So you write a lot of stuff off on your taxes. I know that the laws have changed, but they're still pretty good for people who are independent and that want to be independent. I wanted to be like this because I did not want to have my life structured and dictated by somebody who doesn't even care about me. I'm making some man in another country rich by my hard work, and I don't want to invest any more of my time or my effort into something like that that is not benefiting me. I'm only making a fraction of what this guy's making. Yeah, I quit. They were upset, but they'll get over it, and they'll find somebody else that is just as good as me, if not better. And I have no hard feelings towards them. They might have some towards me, but you know, that's their problem. And you need to think the same way too if you want to get ahead in life or in anything in general, is not to let anyone's opinion affect you pursuing your goals. I had to stop communicating with so many people that I basically was just, I had no one to talk to. I had no one to go to, just a very few people. And it wasn't even face to face. Mostly it was online through messaging or text messages or phone calls. It was never face to face, like we'd meet up for dinner and we'd talk or whatever. Nothing like that. Once you start realizing your dreams and realizing things, and making things happen for yourself, a lot of people are going to drop off. They'll be jealous of you. That's what happened to me, and it's happened to other people who have been in my situation up until this point. A lot of people will be negative and say, oh, if you don't have a job, how are you going to get insurance, and what are you going to do, and can you make it doing that? And they'll never erect a statue for a critic. Someone will always tell you how to get there, but they've never done it themselves. And that is one thing, I can even feel it right now. It really, really bothers me that someone who has never done something has anything to say about your goal and your passion that you want to pursue, and try to be negative on every little thing that you say. And you'll start to realize it, and you'll start to see people's facial expressions and read the way that they talk to you and how they treat you after they find out that you want to branch out on your own and not have to deal with going to work every day, getting up at 4:30 in the morning, not getting home until 5 o'clock at night. You have no time to do anything else. You can't see your kids or anything like that. That was the main thing that I wanted to get away from. So I took the necessary steps to make my life the way that I want to, not the way somebody else wants me to live around their schedule, live around their rules. I want to set up my own foundation, and I did that by working, saving up a certain amount of money, going to a mortgage company, telling them what I wanted, finding a realtor. The realtor put the deal through. I took all the necessary steps to get where I needed to be and closed on the house, and I moved in. Simple as that. In less than, I fixed what I needed to fix in the one apartment. I put an ad up online. In 3 days, I had the apartment rented out. And that's amazing, because most people, it takes them 2 to 3 months even to get somebody in there to rent it out. You have to make sure that you screen whoever you rent to, and that's going to be a total different video, because I don't want to make this video that long. So you can escape the 9-to-5 rat race job if you really, really want to. Whether you are single, married with kids, single with kids, there is a way. And if you really put your nose to the grinding stone, you will figure it out, just like I did. I never used 1 cent of my parents' money to do what I wanted to do to make my life better. Okay? So I encourage you to do your due diligence, read everything that you possibly can, and become an expert on it and follow through with your plan. Okay? So next time, we'll talk about another thing, which is renting the apartment. All right? So you guys take it easy. Bye.